Hello, I'm Alyce Duckworth, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. I work as a therapist primarily and work with people of all ages who've experienced trauma. I am also a 9-year Jiu Jitsu practitioner. So I am a purple belt with 2 stripes, which that means that I have 2 more belts to go before I get to my black belt, which is the highest ranking, well, primarily the highest ranking that you can get. I have a tremendous passion for teaching self-defense, particularly to people that are often overlooked in typical society. And Jiu-Jitsu is, in my mind, the #1 form of self-defense because it is the only martial art that teaches smaller, weaker people to use leverage in the physics of their own body to gain an upper hand over bigger, stronger people. And so it fits perfectly with self-defense techniques. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite things in the world is to watch people who are learning self-defense just kind of click and get it. And you can almost see the empowerment as it enters their body in a way. And that is just a tremendous passion of mine. I myself got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as I mentioned, a little over 9 years ago. And I didn't know what Jiu-Jitsu was when I stumbled upon it. I happened to be driving by a Jiu-Jitsu studio, on my way to work every day. And I was having a really hard time in my life and wasn't finding much motivation for continuing on with things. I had lost 3 people that I loved very dearly, and in a short amount of time, among other losses and very tough things going on. I had a baby, and that process had been really tough physically, mentally, emotionally, for a number of reasons. And I knew myself that I needed something that incorporated mind, body, and spirit to give me the best benefit that I could possibly achieve. I wanted something that was kind of gonna knock my brain into building new pathways because I was stuck in a rut and I needed motivation and something to work towards. And so, never having known what Jiu-Jitsu was, I walked into the gym finally for the first time after having passed it for many months. And there were a whole bunch of sweaty dudes rolling around on the floor on the mat. I still, like, to this day, I still don't know. I went into that class, I participated in that class, and then I kept going back. I don't completely remember why I kept going back, but it got into my blood. And I will often say that Jiu-Jitsu was exactly what I needed to start those new brain pathways growing and knock me out of my rut that I had been in and basically give me a will to live again. So I very often honestly say that Jiu-Jitsu saved my life. And it did then when I first stumbled upon it and started rolling around with those sweaty men on the ground too, and sparring. We call it rolling when we spar. And many times after that, when I came into some really difficult experiences in my life, and I continue to have this extreme passion for, again, teaching people that may normally be overlooked by society but are often victimized by society to defend themselves. And when I talk about defense, I mean mind, body, spirit, the whole shebang. I feel like anything that's worth doing should be done 100%, 150%. And that involves all of those aspects of who we are. So I think that's a little bit about myself, my love of Jiu Jitsu, and my love of teaching self-defense.